Have you ever, just daydreamed about packing up, moving to a super dynamic, rapidly growing country, and buying a slice of luxury real estate?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Especially when the weather gets cold here.
Right. Well, in Vietnam, this isn't just a daydream for expats anymore. It's actually a booming trend.
And we really mean booming. The shift in the market is staggering.
It really is. To give you an idea, from 2015 to 2022, only about 1,765 homes were bought by foreigners in Hanoi.
Which over 7 years is practically nothing for a city that size.
Exactly. But in just the first half of 2024, over 1,000 apartments were sold to foreigners in Hanoi alone.
Wow. Yeah, that is a massive acceleration.
Right. The floodgates have totally opened. And this massive change in the Vietnamese property market is mainly thanks to two big things: the new housing law of 2023 and the land law of 2024.
Yeah, those two laws completely rewrote the rules of engagement for foreign capital.
So that's our mission for today's deep dive. We're going to be your ultimate guide to this wild market. We're unpacking exactly what these new laws mean, decoding all that complex paperwork, and exposing the hidden risks of buying property as a foreigner there.
Because there are definitely some hidden traps you need to know about. It's not a free-for-all.
Not at all. Honestly, the legal landscape there is like this massive, intricate puzzle. And I'm super excited for us to just, solve it together today.
It really is a puzzle, and before anyone can buy anything, you have to know what's actually on the menu.
Right, because the new laws completely redefine what ownership even means for a foreigner, don't they?
They do, and this requires a fundamental mental shift if you're used to, say, North American or European real estate. Under the land law of 2024, foreigners just cannot own land directly in Vietnam, period.
Wait, really? Not at all?
None. The land itself technically belongs to the people as a whole, and it's administered by the state.
Okay, so if I can't buy the land, what am I actually buying?
Well, that's where the housing law of 2023 comes in. It allows foreigners to own the physical house or the apartment attached to that land. You own the bricks, the glass, the fixtures.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's unpack this. It sounds like buying property there is essentially like buying a very long-term VIP pass to a premium seat in a stadium.
That is actually a perfect analogy.
Yeah, because you own the right to the seat. You can use it, rent it out, or sell it.
Yeah.
But you don't actually own the concrete of the stadium itself.
Exactly. And to push that analogy further, your VIP pass has an expiration date. Ownership is strictly capped at 50 years.
50 years? Wow. Can you extend it?
You can, but only once. You get the possibility of a single 50-year extension.
Got it. So it's essentially a century at the absolute maximum.
Right. And there are strict limits on how many of these VIP passes they give out to prevent foreign monopolies.
What kind of limits are we talking about?
Well, in any single residential building, foreign ownership cannot exceed 30% of the total apartments.
30%. Okay. What about houses?
For standalone houses like villas or townhouses, it's a maximum of 250 units within a single administrative ward.
That's pretty tightly controlled.
It is, and it makes sense, right? Vietnam is trying to balance this desire to attract foreign investment with the need to ensure national security and social stability.
Yeah, they don't want foreign wealth pricing their own citizens out of the market.
Exactly. They're protecting market integrity for local Vietnamese citizens.
Makes total sense. So knowing what you can buy naturally leads to the question of where you can buy it and who is actually allowed to.
Right, because the government heavily curates the guest list. You can't just decide on a whim to buy an apartment there.
Right, like I can't just fly in on a tourist visa and start house hunting.
Definitely not. That is what we call the visa trap. A standard short-term 15 to 30-day tourist exemption visa does not qualify you to buy property.
Oh, wow. So if I sign a contract on a tourist exemption, it's basically void.
Effectively, yes. You must have a valid passport with a proper entry stamp for a tourist, work, or investment visa.
Okay, good to know. And once I have the right visa, can I buy anywhere that hasn't hit the 30% quota?
No. Absolutely not. Foreigners cannot buy in areas deemed sensitive for national defense or security.
How do you know what areas are sensitive? Is there a map?
The authorities are usually pretty specific. For instance, in Ho Chi Minh City, they published a tightly vetted list of exactly 17 commercial housing projects where foreigners are cleared to buy.
Wow. Only 17.
Yeah, projects like City Garden and Gamuda Land. If the building isn't on the cleared list, you're out of luck.
Wait, I'm stuck on this 30% quota rule. So if I find my absolute dream apartment in one of those 17 projects, But 30% of the building is already owned by foreigners?
Yeah.
Am I just completely out of luck? Like, do I literally have to sit around and wait for a foreigner to sell their unit?
That is exactly how it works.
Man, that's rough.
It is, which is why due diligence is critical. As a buyer, you have to legally verify a building's foreign ownership status with the developer before you sign anything.
Because if you don't, and the quota is full, your whole transaction could be voided.
Exactly. Though there is one massive exception to all these quotas and rules.
Oh. Who gets the golden ticket?
The Viet Q. Basically, overseas Vietnamese individuals or a foreign national who is married to a Vietnamese citizen.
Oh, nice. So how are they treated under the law?
They get a huge advantage. They're treated practically like local citizens. That means they get permanent ownership.
Wait, so no 50-year ticking clock?
Nope, no ticking clock. And they aren't subject to the 30% building caps either.
That is an incredible perk. But, okay, for the rest of us, let's say we clear the legal hurdles, we find a property on the cleared list, and we beat the 30% quota.
Then you have to actually pay for it.
Right, the money trail.
Yeah.
And securing the ultimate proof of ownership, which I have to say is the most infamous document in Vietnamese real estate.
Oh, the Pink Book. Yes, but before you even get to the Pink Book, we need to talk about the payment rules.
Because I can't just wire the developer $1 million from my Chase account, right?
Yeah, definitely not. And you definitely can't hand over a suitcase of cash. You actually have to open a bank account in Vietnam.
Okay, so I open a local account.
Right. Or you can transfer directly from abroad, but you have to use very specific bank SWIFT codes so the foreign currency can be legally converted into Vietnamese dong.
Oh, I see. The government wants a clear paper trail of how the money entered the country.
Exactly. And you have to keep in mind, this exposes buyers to currency depreciation risks.
Yeah, because you're holding your wealth in dong now relative to the US dollar or the euro.
Right. It's a risk you have to factor in. But let's say you pay for the house. Now you need the song.
A famous Pink Book. This is the official certificate of home ownership, right?
Yes. To get it, the law requires your contracts to be in Vietnamese and notarized.
Makes sense.
Then you pay your taxes, like a 0.5% registration fee. And nominally, the Pink Book process is supposed to take about 20 days for appraisal and then 3 days for issuance.
Okay, 23 days. That doesn't sound too bad.
Well, that's the theory. The harsh reality is that getting the Pink Book is notoriously difficult for foreigners.
Well,
Why? Usually because of developer disputes or missing legal links. To put it in perspective, out of roughly 80,000 foreigners living in Vietnam from 2014 up until recently, guess how many actually got their Pink Book?
I mean, if it's 80,000 people, maybe half. 40,000.
Try about 750.
Wait, what? 750 out of 80,000?
Yep. Only 750 had successfully obtained their Pink Book.
That is shocking. Here's where it gets really interesting to me, though. If I'm doing the math, that means the vast majority of foreign buyers are just holding a sales contract, but not the actual Pink Book.
That's exactly right.
So how does that impact their daily lives? Can they still live there?
Oh, yeah. Without the Pink Book, you still own the home via the contract. You can live in it, furnish it, whatever.
Okay, so what's the catch?
It becomes much, much harder to leverage the property for commercial purposes.
Like getting a bank loan, using the house as collateral.
Exactly. You can't easily do that. And transferring it to a new buyer becomes a massive bureaucratic headache.
Oh, man. So the difficulty of obtaining the Pink Book is really just one of several hidden traps out there.
Oh, absolutely. The market is basically a minefield of hidden risks that can cost foreign buyers time, money, and, well, their entire investment.
Let's dive into that minefield.
Yeah.
Because I know developer risk is a huge one.
It's probably the biggest. Developers often try to sell future properties before they legally meet the prerequisites.
Like selling an apartment before the building even exists.
Yes, pre-sales. But sometimes they haven't even finished the technical plans or met their financial obligations to the state.
So if I buy too early and the developer goes under, what happens to my money?
You might have to sue to get your money back. And good luck with that if they've already spent it.
Yikes. Okay, what if the building is actually finished? Am I in the clear?
Not necessarily. There are often hidden fees that aren't obvious at first. A classic dispute involves parking spaces.
Parking spaces. Like it's not included with the apartment.
Nope. Buyers just assume the parking is included in this luxury condo, only to find out they have to purchase or lease the spot separately.
That is so sneaky. I would be furious if I bought a luxury condo and couldn't park my car.
It happens all the time, and if you think buying is hard, wait until you try to sell.
The friction costs, right. I was reading about this. If a foreigner needs to leave Vietnam and sell, the fees are staggering.
Very staggering. You're looking at 1.5 to 2% just in broker fees.
Okay, pretty standard.
Sure, but then you add $2,500 to $8,000 in legal services to handle the paperwork.
Wow, $8,000 just for legal fees.
Yep. Plus a 2 to 4% personal income tax on the original transfer price.
That really eats into your profits.
It does. But the biggest problem with selling isn't the fees, it's the 50-year ticking clock.
Right, because of the VIP pass expiration.
Exactly. If a foreigner holds a property for 10 years and sells it to another foreigner, the new buyer does not get a fresh 50 years.
Wait, so they just get whatever's left?
Exactly. They only get the remaining 40 years on the lease.
Wait, if the next foreign buyer only gets 40 years, doesn't that completely destroy the resale value of the property? Like, who wants to buy a shrinking asset?
On paper, it sounds terrible, but the market has actually developed a fascinating structural hack to solve this exact problem.
Oh, a hack. Do tell.
If a foreigner sells that decaying 40-year lease to a local Vietnamese citizen, the timeline evaporates.
Seriously, it just goes away.
Yes. The property converts back to permanent freehold ownership for the local buyer.
Oh, wow. That is brilliant. So that completely resets the asset's value.
Exactly. It provides a highly effective exit strategy for the foreign investor.
Yeah.
You aren't stuck with a worthless asset as the clock ticks down.
You just have to make sure your exit plan involves selling to a local.
Right. And honestly, this mechanism explains so much about the current market boom.
It does. Because after outlining all these complex rules, taxes, and risks, the logical question is just, why are foreigners still rushing to buy?
Right. And the answer is that the demand is real, driven by massive economic growth.
Yeah, I saw that Hanoi is currently licensing about 10,000 foreign workers a year right now.
And these aren't just backpackers. These are mostly high-income managers, executives, and technical experts.
Right. People who aren't just looking for a place to crash.
Yeah.
They want modern luxury living with high-end amenities.
Exactly. They want the gyms, the pools, the security, and they are absorbing the high-end luxury inventory that was previously just sitting unsold.
The developers must love that.
Oh, they do. In late 2024, Hanoi opened 7 more projects with 3,000 units designated just for foreigners.
Wow. How did they sell?
They quickly sold 60% of that foreign quota almost instantly.
60%. That's incredible.
It is. Foreigners are so eager to secure these units that they're often willing to pay a 10% premium on the price compared to local Vietnamese buyers.
Wait, they're paying a premium just to get in?
Yeah, just to secure a spot before the 30% building cap is hit.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think even with the red tape, the demand is so high that expats are literally paying a premium to get their foot in the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a testament to how vibrant and promising the Vietnamese economy is right now.
Synthesizing it all, it's essentially a win-win situation. The government clears out stagnant, high-end inventory, which helps local developers.
And what do the foreigners get?
They secure premium assets in a booming economy. But, and this is a big but, provided they use professional legal counsel to navigate this heavily regulated landscape.
Yeah, do not try to DIY your Vietnamese real estate purchase.
Absolutely not. You need a local expert to vet developers and avoid the pink book traps.
So to briefly recap this incredible journey we've been on today, you got the 50-year VIP pass, which is completely different from owning land.
You've got the strict 30% building quotas to keep monopolies in check.
The elusive pink book, where only a fraction of buyers actually hold the official title.
The heavy transaction fees if you try to leave.
And of course, that clever strategy of selling your property back to a local citizen to reset the 50-year clock.
It's a lot to take in, I know.
It is. But whether you are looking to relocate to Southeast Asia, or maybe you just want to diversify an investment portfolio, this stuff is crucial.
Or even if you just love understanding global economic trends, honestly.
Exactly. Knowing the exact rules of the game is what separates a wildly successful investment from a very expensive legal nightmare.
Could not have said it better myself.
But before we sign off, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Something that really stuck with me.
No. What's that?
Well, the 50-year lease rule was established pretty recently, right?
Right, in the grand scheme of things.
Which means we haven't yet reached the date where these foreign ownership terms actually start to expire.
That's true. The clock is ticking, but no one has hit 0 yet.
Exactly. So what will happen when that massive wave of 50-year leases finally hits 0?
That is the million-dollar question.
Will the government strictly take the properties back, like the law says? Or will the sheer economic power of all that foreign investment force, Vietnam, to invent an entirely new system of ownership.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the market reacts when push comes to shove.
It really is. It's definitely something for you to keep an eye on in the decades to come. Thanks for diving deep with us today.